Alright, game 2. And we have an abundance of trashing on the board. We have Spice Merchant, Forager, Chapel, Mine Trashers too, Transmute, an abundance of trashing. Um, so what does it look like for me here? It's a bit strange. There's no plus actions on the board. You're stuck playing one terminal, so you better choose wisely as to what that terminal could be. Outpost seems okay. With all the archives around, you could set up your outpost turn with a bunch of archives, but it seems to be a little bit slow. What we're both going to open with here is the Spice Merchant and the Chapel, and what I'm looking to do is to get thin, and then to replace all the coppers in my deck with golds, ideally, and then play a couple of bridge trolls, one at a time, of course, right? Always have a bridge troll in play is what I mean. So that's my plan. That is my plan. So the Spice Merchant and the Chapel will help with that. Draw with this first Spice Merchant, and I'm gonna trash everything here just to make sure that not just to make sure, trash everything, ensuring that I still have enough money to pick up a silver. So my opponent does buy the silver, I don't. Instead, I go for a Forager. I think the Forager is going to be useful, especially now where I could slow trash. So here I did not quite get to 3 for a silver, so I'll take the next best thing, which is an embargo, and hopefully on my next turn I can get up to 5 and pick up a bridge troll. So my opponent does have the silver. I don't, but I have the embargo, and I do have 5 here to pick up my first bridge troll. So it seems like, excuse me, we are both going after something similar. He's a little bit thinner than me. There, I get rid of the Spice Merchant. I don't need it anymore. The Forager will clean up the remaining things from my deck, and I don't want to take too much money out of my deck right now. Still want to be able to buy useful things. So bridge troll for me, bridge troll for my opponent here. Down goes the estate, and this bridge troll lets me pick up a silver here. Next, I'll probably cut the Chapel and then the coppers off my deck eventually, right? So able to go, I stick the embargo token on the Forager because he didn't have a Forager, but really that wasn't particularly helpful because I just gave him a free use of his Forager, right? The curse is something he could trash with his Forager and get benefit from, so probably wasn't the best pile to put that on, though I doubt it mattered too much where I put the embargo token. So I do manage to get to a second bridge troll first, very happy about that. I'm also happy to avoid bridge troll collision here. So just making use of the first player advantage, right? He now picks up our second bridge troll, so our decks are in very similar positions with a couple of bridge trolls and a Forager each. So I am not quite going to get to gold here. Gold would have been excellent here, but instead I can pick up a couple silvers, and I do pick up a couple silvers. Excuse me. So not the worst thing in the world to put silvers in my deck. I would obviously rather to put gold, but well, I'll take double silver, that's not bad. So now here I can trash one of these silvers with the Forager, I don't have to. But I am going to trash one of these silvers just to make future Foragers worth more. There is some variation where I buy coppers to trash to my Forager later on in the game, but I don't really see that happening. I do have at least a copper in my deck still, so when I trash that one, I'll get 2 coins from it, so that's okay. I do buy back the silver anyway, so whatever, that's fine. So an archive for my opponent, so the first archive for him, along with a silver. I didn't really want an archive so soon in this game because the deck is way too thin. Look, if my opponent plays his archive here, he doesn't get full value from it. He only gets to put 2 cards in his archive. Me, on the other hand, I am gonna buy one now because, well, I will get full value from it, meaning I will get to put aside 3 cards because my deck is thick enough. So he does play his archive. Only one thing is in there. I mean, that's okay, right? It's okay even if you don't set aside three things with your archive. He goes for an archive and a couple silvers here. So, I mean, I don't really want too many archives. I just want maybe two or three archives, especially near the end of the game, just to try and hopefully set aside provinces because I would like to put as much money in my hand as possible, right? As a whole plan with the archives here. Again, I trash a silver. Perhaps I shouldn't be trashing silver out from my deck, but I did it anyway. I do have the option to pick up two more silvers here, which is something. So I do end up going for that, just money flood, right? And then a couple more archives, and I should be ready to go for green cards at this point in the game. So as long as I could keep sticking our bridge troll in play, I'll be very happy because it means I get things reduced by 2 coins, right? And I do get to attack him a little bit. At this point, with so much money, the attack doesn't do too much, but it's still, you'd rather have it than not, right? So archive gold and silver for me here, that looks excellent. That looks excellent. Could have bought a copper there, but I don't think it's worth it at this point to buy the copper. Just want nice and dense treasures. So my opponent has quite a bit more archives than me. I'm not really sure why. Okay, I could guess why, right? He's setting up for an outpost turn eventually. So he has lots of archives. He could set aside a lot of money and, probably do like double province on one turn and then on the outpost turn do another province. But yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen because, well, I'll lose, but I'm not gonna let that happen. And what that means is I'm going to start rushing the provinces right now and try to invalidate all of his archive purchases so far. So a double province for me here is an excellent start. I only have what, 2 archives I believe, but that's enough. I don't think I need maybe one more, but after that I don't need any more archives. I'm fine. I'm not trying to make any outpost plays here, just trying to pressure the province pile until it's done. And with the amount of money in my deck and the amount of archives, I feel like I should get to at least a province every turn. So a couple more archives and a silver for my opponent. So fine, all the archives are done. I can't get any more, but I'm not too unhappy about that. So a little bit unhappy about not getting my bridge troll here, but you know what? That's what's gonna happen when your deck gets more and more thick. Here again, I trash a silver. Perhaps I shouldn't be trashing the silver, but I do. For reasons I consider trashing the gold, just to make the forager better. And in fact, I do stop my silver rampage here, realizing, look, you need the money density to keep up buying provinces. So very happy about that. Good job, past self, not trashing the silver. So I do still have a little bit of money left, and I do go for a herbalist here. Woohoo! Alarm bells, alarm bells. Should I be buying herbalist? Yeah, that's fine, right? I could stick gold back on top of the deck. That's excellent news. Why not buy the herbalist? And I found that to be a relatively decent play for me at this point to pick up the herbalist. So 10 for my opponent, 4 silvers, lots of archives. There's lots of cards in his archive. So you see, this is the issue with archive, right? If your deck is this good, right, where your deck is full of silvers and gold, you want to see all of them, but the archive just puts them away and you can't get in there. Gold, copper, and province for my opponent there, right? So archive as a draw card is kind of strange if your deck is super good, right? I don't really know like how much it's worth it at that point to go for many archives. Estate here because you know what, traumatized from that last game where I lost on piles, so we're gonna make sure absolutely that does not happen. I don't know if you could triple province with all his archive shenanigans here, but you probably can't. But you know what, we're not playing any games this time around. Just going to take the estate and make sure triple province doesn't win for him. So province again for my opponent. Here comes the outpost finally, right? So a little bit later than I thought it would be, but he doesn't know, probably realizing, shoot, I can't win if I just keep doing what I'm doing. So here I could chop the herbalist with the forager, but you know what? A better play is to play the Herbalist, put the gold back on top of the deck, because I have a gold in the archives and a gold on top of my deck. I'll probably get to the last province on my next turn. So let's not cut the Herbalist down. So Herbalist actually doing work. Somebody actually bought Herbalist to put treasures on top of the deck. Who knew? So I do cut the silver. Oh, poor choice, past self, poor choice. And I will play the Herbalist rather than trashing the Herbalist to stick the gold back on top of my deck. So one province left. My opponent needs a heap of duchies to do so. I don't know if he could do it. Since that last game, I don't know was real and was not real anymore. Just my entire notion of reality has been warped if I could drop a game like that. So I'm just waiting a little bit anxiously here to see what he does. But if he doesn't get the win, I will have the win. I do have the gold coming in off my archive here, so that should be enough money to pick up the last province. So 2 duchies for my opponent as he needs to do here, and he needs province double duchy, doesn't make it. He just doesn't have enough money. Too much money is locked up in his archives. So that's an issue with archives, right? Is a strange draw card. I feel it does better when your deck is mixed of good cards and bad cards, because then you could just, you know, keep the bad cards out, pull the one good card out. I don't know. I don't know how to use archive. More experience and hopefully other players' opinions and thoughts will help understand this archive card when it's good. I mean, it's always good, right? Because you'll draw cards on subsequent turns, but I mean, it just locked up so much of my opponent's money this game. Anyways, game 2 ends here with me buying the last province. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.